video, I would like to take you through setting up some of the most commonly used features on the Jaguar E-Pace, and also show you a few features that are a little less obvious, but no less useful for that. The first thing I would recommend is to download the Jaguar iGuide app. Now, this contains not only a full searchable copy of the handbook, but also a reference guide for warning lights on the dashboard, a frequently asked questions section, and a visual tour around the inside and outside of the car with information on the controls, buttons and features. It's a great source of immediate information when a question pops into your head, or you just see a button and think, well, what does that do? Another download is the Jaguar Remote app, and your retailer should have spoken to you about the setup of your InControl account that enables many of the intelligent features on the car. When you first run the app, there's a quick setup guide, and then it provides control over remote locking and unlocking of the car, tells you how much fuel is in the tank, reports the last parked location of the car so you can always find your way back to it. And it can export a full journey log in the form of an Excel spreadsheet, so it's easy to track business mileage. If you have an automatic gearbox, it provides remote activation of the climate system, cooling the interior in summer before you get in, or warming and de-icing the car in winter whilst keeping the car fully secure. Okay, let's start then with the smart key. Now, lock and unlock seem pretty obvious with a reassuring click answering each one. Pressing the lock button just once will lock the car. Pressing twice will double lock with a beep to confirm. Now, this means the car cannot be unlocked from the inside. So even if someone smashes a window, they still can't open the doors. This is a really important step in securing your car, and we recommend you double lock every time you leave the vehicle unattended. Holding the unlock button down will operate global opening, lowering all the windows to allow air into the car before you enter on a hot day. Now, similarly, if you get out and then realize you've left a window open, hold the lock button to activate global closing to raise all the windows and secure the car. These operations can be enabled or disabled using the settings inside the touchscreen. If your car is fitted with keyless entry, you don't even need to remove the key from your bag or pocket. So long as it's within a foot or so of the car, as soon as you put your hand around the door handle, the doors will unlock. When you leave the car, place your thumb on the end of the door handle to secure the vehicle. To double lock, press once and once again, not too fast. Again, you'll hear a beep to confirm. Next, there's a button to unlock just the boot. If you have a powered tailgate, this will open or close the tailgate automatically, so do ensure that there's space for it to safely operate. There are sensors that will stop it if obstructed, but you'll notice I use my arm rather than my head to demonstrate that. Powered tailgates can also be operated by the button above the number plate on the outside, a button by the driver's knee inside, and a button on the back of the tailgate itself. If you wish to adjust the height the tailgate opens to, if, for example, you have a garage with a low ceiling, position the tailgate to the desired height and hold the button on the back of the tailgate until you hear a beep. This will store that height to memory. If you have the gesture tailgate option, so long as the smart key is in your pocket, sweeping your foot under the rear corner of the car will trigger the tailgate to open or close. Next, there's a handy button to trigger the lights. So if you're approaching the car in the dark or simply trying to find it in a dark car park, well, this will switch the lights on. By default, they'll stay on for 30 seconds. This can be extended up to 4 minutes if you want, using the settings in the car. More on that later. Unlocking the car will also trigger the headlights, and they'll remain on for a short period after locking to provide light to see you to your door. Now, the final button is a panic alarm. Press for 3 seconds or press 3 times in 3 seconds, the horn will sound and the hazard lights will flash. After 5 seconds, this can be cancelled by holding the button down for a further 3 seconds. All our latest models have Jaguar InControl Secure Vehicle Tracker fitted, and your retailer will have performed the first steps in the setup process. You should have received an InControl email inviting you to activate the tracker, and it's worth checking your junk folder for this if you haven't seen it. The activation process takes less than 2 minutes. Once complete, you can view the certificate from within the InControl portal. If your insurer wishes to see proof of an activated tracker, simply go to the Your InControl Services section and select the option to download. For vehicles with Secure Tracker Pro, an ultra-wideband frequency connection precisely determines the distance between the vehicle and the key fob to protect against thefts relaying the key fob signal. The owner will be alerted to any attempt to start the car when the key is more than 3 meters away from the vehicle. Getting into the car then, the first thing you need to do is find a comfortable position. Seat controls can be found on the outside of the seat. Steering wheel adjustment is either electric, using a joystick on the right-hand side of the steering column, or manual. Pull the lever on the underside of the steering column down, adjust the reach and rake to suit, and then push the lever up to lock the steering wheel in place. Mirrors are adjusted using the controls mounted on the driver's door. Select which mirror to adjust using the buttons, and then use the joystick to adjust the angles. Incidentally, if you have power folding mirrors, pressing both buttons together will fold them in. Useful if squeezing through a tight gap. Once everything is adjusted to your satisfaction, if you have memory settings, you can save these positions. Just press the M button, and then within 5 seconds, press one of the numbered memory settings. You'll hear a chime to confirm that it's saved. You can switch between stored settings just by pressing these numbered buttons. Great if you share the car with another driver. Controls for the electric windows are located on the driver's door. Locking the operation of windows from the rear seats will also engage the child locks on the rear doors. And most people will want to leave their windscreen wipers set to auto. Move the stalk to its lowest position and then come up 1 notch. Sensitivity can be adjusted using the rotating collar. Pull forward for screen wash. The outer collar operates the rear wiper, and the button on the end controls the rear screen wash. Similarly, the headlights are best set to auto by rotating the outer collar. Pulling the stalk towards you will flash the main beam, and when driving at night, pushing the stalk away from you will toggle the main beam on and off. If your car is fitted with auto high beam assist, the car will automatically dip main beam if it detects oncoming traffic. If you have matrix LED lights, which are standard on HSE specification, the car will keep main beam on almost all the time, creating cones of shadow around other road users so they're not dazzled, but maintaining full beam everywhere else. This mode operates above 30 miles an hour and requires the lighting control to be set to auto. There's an array of controls on the steering wheel. On the right-hand side are the controls for cruise control. Push the rocker switch up when travelling at your preferred speed, and the car will automatically maintain that speed until you touch the brakes or press cancel. Pressing the accelerator will cause the car to speed up, but when you release it, it'll return to the set speed. Pushing the rocker switch up or down will increase or reduce the set speed. If cruise control has been cancelled, pressing the rocker switch in will resume cruise control and return the car to the last set speed. If your car has adaptive cruise control, a radar monitors the speed of the car in front of you. If they're travelling slower, the car will automatically match their speed. The buttons on the left and right will increase and decrease the distance between you and the car in front. Whilst you need to be travelling over 20 miles an hour to activate cruise control, adaptive cruise will match the speed of the car in front all the way down to 0. If the traffic restarts within 3 seconds, your car will pull away with the traffic. Any longer than that, and you'll need to give the car permission to go with just a gentle press on the accelerator. This function means that adaptive cruise control can be used in tiring stop-start traffic situations. The limb button switches the function between cruise control and speed limiter. Lane keep assist can be toggled on and off with the button marked with converging white lines. If the heated steering wheel is fitted, the control will be found here. On the left side, the thumb wheel controls volume, and the arrow buttons skip tracks or change radio stations. Pressing in on the thumb wheel triggers the menu options for the instrument panel, including media, trip records, and the passenger airbag and tyre pressure monitoring systems, and virtual driver's display layout and heads-up display if they're fitted. Scroll up and down with the thumb wheel to navigate through options, and then use the right arrow to select or the left arrow to go back 1 level. Explore these options to set the car up to your preferences. The phone icon will answer an incoming call. Press and hold to end a current call. The thumb wheel will increase or decrease the volume of the call. When listening to music, the left and right arrows can be used to skip through tracks or radio stations. Again, the thumb wheel controls volume. The voice button primes the system to listen for voice commands. Just wait for the chime and then tune radio to BBC Radio 2. Alternatively, you can use a wake-up phrase. Initially, this is set to Hey Jaguar, but you can also set a name of your choice, for example, Hey Sophie. Names with 2 or 3 syllables work best. The system uses natural language understanding, so commands could be, Hey Jaguar, call David's mobile. Hey Jaguar, take me to Buckingham Palace. Or Hey Jaguar, increase cabin temperature to 22 degrees. You'll need to enable the wake up phrase via the settings menu on the touchscreen in the app section under voice. In the same place, there are options to disable the system's verbal confirmations and a tutorial detailing the full capabilities of the voice system. The diamond button can be customized to control a range of navigation, phone or media features. These can also be found in the app section of the vehicle settings, under the heading Favorite button. To make the most of the advanced connectivity features offered by ePace, you'll need an in-control account. If you don't already have one, you can create one at www.jaguarincontrol.com/owner. To add the car to your account, it'll need to be parked close by in an area with good signal. When prompted, add the ePace to your account by pressing and holding the roadside assistance button located in the overhead console until the light flashes at a slower rate. This should take around 10 seconds. You have 60 minutes to complete this step. Then return to the website and follow instructions to complete the registration. Download the Jaguar remote app to your phone and sign in with your in-control account details. This will allow you to locate the vehicle, lock and unlock it remotely and initiate remote climate. Starting the car is as simple as putting your foot on the brake pedal and pushing the start button. For manual cars, press the clutch. So long as the smart key is in the car somewhere, the engine will start. When you first switch the car on, the main touchscreen will greet you, and at the bottom of the screen there's an option to set up your vehicle and the infotainment system, named Pivi. We highly recommend you click on this, as the system will walk you through a few key steps to streamline the setup process. This will lead you to select your language of choice. From here, you'll be prompted to add a name for your personal profile and choose a graphic for that profile, and then to input your in-control account details. Each authorized user of the vehicle can have their own profile linked to their own in-control account. When you've done this, you may receive a message saying there's no internet connection and giving you the option to enable connectivity. Select this and then switch on mobile data and agree to the terms and conditions. Once you've enabled mobile data, return to the sign-in screen by pressing the X at the bottom right of the screen. Tap the sign-in button, and when sign-in is completed, you'll be given the option to set a 4-digit passcode to secure your data, and then the option to remember this passcode to automatically sign you in whenever you start the vehicle. Pivi will then prompt you to pair a phone. On your phone, simply go to Settings and then Bluetooth and search for New Device. Select Jaguar ePace and then confirm pairing on both your phone screen and then the Pivi screen. There are options to enable both audio streaming and telephone communications. For display and reading of text messages, it may be necessary to select the Jaguar ePace Bluetooth device on your phone and then select Enable Notifications or Text Messages. You can then pair additional phones to the system, or continue. There's always the function to add more phones later. Pivi allows 2 phones to be connected simultaneously, for example, work and personal phones. When either phone rings, you can answer the call via the vehicle's touchscreen. For making calls, you can switch between focused phones directly from Pivi's home screen. Finally, Pivi will prompt you to select your favourite radio stations to add to your favourites list. Following a short animation showing a few tips on how to navigate Pivi, the main homepage will appear. The setup wizard will be offered on the greeting screen each time you start the vehicle. Multiple drivers and profiles can be added, and Pivi will remember each driver's preferences to deliver a personal experience. It can also analyse behaviour to pre-select navigation routes and destinations based on your regular routine. Pivi's home screen has been designed to allow direct access to the features and information you use most. By default, this offers direct access to media and telephone and navigation, and the most common features and information associated with each. Pivi offers a consistent, logical interface. On the left-hand side, there's the clock, connectivity details, and then below that, shortcuts for standard surround cameras and settings. On the right-hand side, you can switch between driver profiles, jump straight to navigation, phone or media from virtually anywhere in the system, or launch one of the additional apps available. Pressing the cog icon will take you into Settings, where you can find options for connectivity, languages, and many vehicle safety features. It's worth looking through these to understand the full range of customization available. Quick Settings allows you to choose a dark or light display theme and adjust screen brightness. The next tab is Context Sensitive, presenting options for the application you jumped here from. So if you press the Settings icon whilst in the Navigation app, it'll say Navigation. Coming from the home screen, it gives options for the home screen layout. Selecting All takes you into options for driver profiles. Connectivity, which includes Bluetooth, mobile data, Wi-Fi connection, and settings for CarPlay and Android Auto. Vehicle, which allows configuration of drive assistance features like lane keeping and parking aids, security features, exterior light settings, which includes headlamp delay and setting the lights for driving abroad, convenience, which controls global opening and closing of windows, units allows customization of display units, and My Vehicle shows the next anticipated service date. Back to the home screen. The standard 3 tiles can be customized with other features and functions. These can be added to the home screen by swiping left and selecting the edit icon. Then just tap or drag the tiles from the bottom row up to the top and reorder them to your preference. When you return to the home screen, you can then swipe through all of the tiles. Now, many tiles show live information like the name of the radio station or song that you're listening to. Let's look at the main 3 tiles. If no phone is connected, the phone tile will prompt you to pair a device. With a phone connected, the phone tile shows which of the connected phones is currently active for outgoing calls. Options below access recent calls or favourites data if your phone supports this, as well as the ability to switch between connected phones for outgoing calls. Lists can be scrolled, and just tapping on a contact from the recent contacts list dials the number, all without having to leave the home screen. Connecting a phone with a USB cable enables Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Both are standard on ePace, although some Android phones may require a free Android Auto app to be installed. You may also need to switch the service on for your device by going into Settings, All, Connectivity, and then either CarPlay or Android Auto. This allows the control of compatible phone apps via the main screen. Most music playing and podcast apps are supported, as well as streaming services like BBC Sounds and Scala Radio. Connecting your phone in this way also allows voice access to your phone assistant using a long press on the steering wheel button. Send text message to Dad. The next tile to look at is Media. The home screen shows what's playing, along with buttons for source and choosing between radio bands and the phone I've just added. And favourite radio stations. Favourites can contain DAB, FM and AM based stations. There's also an icon to instantly mute or pause playback. Choosing radio and then tapping on the media tile launches the media play screen, providing access to the full station list. Tapping stars will add them to your favourites. Choosing a phone as a source will show artwork if available, and then browse will allow you access to the full range of songs, artists and albums available on the phone. And again, many selections can be made using the voice control system. The last of the main 3 tiles to examine is navigation. With no destination set, the home screen provides shortcuts to set home as your destination, search, and direct access to your recent destinations. Just click on a destination from the list and the route will be calculated and guidance start in around a second. Pressing search takes you into the full screen navigation view, where you can click on a search category. Selecting one of these will display nearby options and give access to ratings and reviews if available. Parking options will even show the hourly rate for the car park. Whichever way a destination is chosen, just clicking on Go will calculate the route according to your preferences in navigation settings. If you prefer, you can click on Routes to choose between the fastest, shortest and the most economical route options. Instead of searching by category, you can input a search term wherever you see the search box in navigation. Now, this can be a place name or a place type, for example, Italian restaurant, or an address or postcode. Destinations can also be easily set by voice. Take me to 33 Baker Street, London. As well as appearing on the main touchscreen, navigation instructions will also be shown on the interactive driver display. This can be reconfigured by pressing the menu button in the centre of the arrows and selecting the display and then layout to choose between a 1 or 2 dial display with info panels that can be configured to show the map or media information, or do away with the dials for a clear, streamlined digital layout. You can even bring the map across the whole screen, retaining a digital readout of your speed. The full screen map view can now display additional information such as traffic incidents en route or a list of upcoming manoeuvres. With the destination set, the home screen's navigation tile options change to cancel guidance, mute or unmute voice turn-by-turn instructions, and access to en route information. Tapping on this displays a list of traffic incidents and the associated delay, or rest stops available along your current route. PHEV models will show charging stations along the route as well. Simply click on a destination from the list for it to be added to your route as a waypoint. Pivi Pro learns your regular journeys. On startup, the navigation tile will display up to 3 predicted destinations, each with an estimated time of arrival taking into account your usual driving style and current traffic. If you sometimes drive to the same destination using different routes, it will also identify which route is the fastest based on current traffic conditions. Tapping on the destination shown in the navigation home screen tile confirms this as the intended destination. For frequently used routes, the system displays the route but doesn't provide turn-by-turn voice instructions. If the live traffic system alters the route to unfamiliar roads, the system will automatically enable voice guidance, and then on returning to familiar roads, the system will automatically mute voice guidance again. ePace is equipped with a 4G data connection, providing over-the-air performance updates of the infotainment and other vehicle systems, and allows the addition of new features over time. When an update is available, it will alert the driver via the menu touchscreen and ask for permission to update when you complete your journey. Some updates may require the vehicle to be switched off and locked whilst the update is carried out, so for convenience these updates can be scheduled for a suitable time within a 2-week period. The data connection also enables a variety of connected navigation features and services, such as real-time traffic information, live EV charging station availability, parking availability, safety camera locations, live search, as well as monthly navigation map updates. It also enables the online pack, which allows the synchronization and streaming from various online accounts, including Spotify, Deezer and TuneIn, and Microsoft or Google Calendars. You can also view weather at your destination and even pay for parking from the vehicle's touchscreen using Ringo. To set this up, go to the app launcher, select Connect Accounts, and then select the type of account you wish to connect. You'll then be given the option of an emailed link or a QR code. Simply scan this with a phone that has these accounts already added, and Pivi will do the rest. Once added, Spotify, Deezer and TuneIn will show up as additional media sources alongside your phone and radio bands. The Agenda app allows you to set location of an appointment in the calendar as the destination with one tap, or call the meeting organizer with one tap if you're running late. There's no need for additional mobile data contracts or SIM cards. If there's a valid active subscription, mobile data is included via a built-in SIM card. Connected navigation and remote access to your vehicle via the remote app includes a 3-year subscription, whilst the online pack for live apps like Spotify is included for an initial 1 year. On renewal of a subscription, the associated data plan required is also renewed. Back to the home screen. The camera icon reveals either the rear camera or, if fitted, 3D surround camera views that can simulate an overhead view as well as a full 360-degree surround view from outside of the vehicle. Each of the camera icons on the overhead view presents a different view, allowing you to switch between different virtual camera positions. Front and rear cameras can be selected in ultra-wide view, so when pulling out of a blind junction or reversing out of a tight parking space, you have enhanced vision left and right. PHEV models have a My EV feature. A button in the area below the touchscreen cycles through 3 different drive modes. Hybrid, which allows the car to automatically switch between petrol and electric power. Save, which locks the car to petrol only, conserving and recharging the battery power, useful if you want to reserve charge for driving through an urban area later in your journey. And lastly, EV mode, which switches the car to use purely electric power, although the engine will restart if the charge is too low or greater acceleration or speed is required. It will also revert to petrol power if the mud ruts, sand mode or wade sensing is activated, or if the automatic transmission is set in sport mode. Setting the navigation for your journey will allow the PHEV to automatically plot when to use its electric power over the journey to achieve best efficiency, and ensuring that EV mode can be used in urban areas. Below the main touchscreen are dials for climate control. Now these can be set independently for driver and passenger, or locked together by pressing sync. Pressing these dials in will modify their function to control the seat temperature. Pulling the dials out will give control of the fan speed. Tap Auto to put this back under control of the climate system. Between the dials you'll find controls for heated front and rear screens and air recirculation. And if your phone is Qi compatible, this bottom stowage area can house the optional wireless device charging feature if specified, perfect for doing away with those pesky cables. Once the engine's on, the 15-watt charging pad can not only charge your phone, but will also improve your phone signal through the latest cellular boosting technology. Just be careful not to put any other metal objects on the pad, as this can disrupt charging. Automatic e-pace models use a palm shift gear selector. Press the brake, squeeze the trigger and nudge it towards you for forward drive or away for reverse. When driving forward, nudging the selector towards you again will put the e-pace in sport mode. This will alter the operation of the automatic gearbox, holding onto gears longer to give punchier performance. You can manually shift up and down the auto gearbox using the paddles either side of the steering wheel. In drive mode, the system will revert to auto operation after about 10 seconds, but in sport mode, you will remain in manual control of the gears. To return the car to automatic operation, hold the right paddle towards you for about a second. The paddles can be configured so they're only active in sport mode by going to Settings and then Vehicle and Convenience. When you come to a stop, pressing the P button or switching off the ignition will automatically return it to park. The electronic park brake will disengage automatically when you drive away and re-engage when you come to a stop and open the driver's door. Vehicles with manual transmission have a manual override control for the parking brake near the driver's knee. The drive mode switch cycles through Eco, Comfort, Dynamic and Rain Ice Snow modes, altering the performance and handling characteristics to suit different conditions. For the most challenging conditions, all surface progress control can be activated with this button near the drive mode selector to keep you moving uphill and stop you gaining speed on descent. Consult the handbook or iGuide for full details. When driving, be aware that the start-stop system is standard, so the engine will cut out when you come to a stop, instantly restarting in the time it takes for your foot to move from the brake to the accelerator when you pull away. This can be overridden with the control near the drive selector, but it delivers a surprisingly high fuel saving and helps reduce air pollution in cities and towns. All cars are fitted with exhaust filters. These need to refresh occasionally, and you may notice more visible exhaust emissions whilst this is happening. For a diesel, it tends to happen when the car is being driven at higher speeds and the exhaust gets hot. For a petrol, it happens more frequently when you lift off the throttle and more oxygen passes through the system. Occasionally, the car may deliver a message saying drive to clear. This is most common on diesels which have been used for predominantly short, low-speed journeys, in which case they need a blast down a dual carriageway. For petrols, it happens when they've been used under load, like towing. Find occasions to lift off the throttle and slow using engine braking to clear the filter. Automatic braking systems for city driving are standard and detect other traffic, pedestrians and cyclists, preventing collision or mitigating damage. Cars fitted with adaptive cruise control have a high-speed emergency braking system. The lane keep system will provide a torque steer back into the lane if the car thinks you're drifting beyond the lane markers, so it's important to indicate when changing lane. If blind spot assist is fitted, the door mirrors incorporate a blind spot warning system, lighting up when a vehicle is travelling alongside and flashing rapidly to warn if a car is closing to overtake. If you start to move into the path of an adjacent vehicle, the car will deliver a torque steer in an attempt to avoid a collision. These driver aids are designed to intervene when there is no input from the driver, which is surprisingly hard to simulate, so please don't try to test these systems. Any input from the driver will override them, and they do not reduce the driver's responsibility to drive safely and attentively. They can be deactivated, but as all of them have been shown to save lives both inside and outside the vehicle, they're switched on by default, and we recommend leaving them that way. For additional safety, in the event of an accident where the airbags are deployed or the fuel safety cutoff is activated, the car will automatically contact emergency services, sending GPS location data. Emergency services can be contacted at any time by pressing the right-hand button above the rearview mirror. The left-hand button summons breakdown assistance. Both these buttons have covers to avoid accidental operation. When refueling, simply press the filler flap. So long as the car is unlocked, it'll open. A smart mechanism will prevent filling with the wrong fuel, but as an additional reminder, diesel cars will have a spout for topping up with diesel exhaust fluid. Warnings will flash up on the information display to let you know when you're running out. You get about 1,000 miles notice, and if it runs out, as a legal requirement, the engine will not start. When fueling PHEV models, switch off the engine and press the button marked with a petrol pump icon near the driver's knee. This will equalise the pressure in the fuel tank and unlock the filler flap. PHEV models obviously also have a separate cover on the other side of the car, which reveals a Type 2 charging socket. Plug the cable into the power first and then connect to the car. An LED next to the socket will confirm that the car is charging by turning green. For AC charging, simply plug the Type 2 plug into the socket. If charging at home, plug the cable into the power and then plug into the car. The LED indicator next to the socket will turn white to give some illumination whilst plugging in and start flashing as it makes the connection. When charging starts, the LED will flash green, changing to solid green when charging is complete. A red light indicates a problem charging. When you lock the car, the cable will lock in place and it's not possible to engage drive when the cable is connected. For fast DC charging, the rubber cover beneath the charge socket needs to be removed to reveal the two large diameter ports that can accept high voltage DC input from CCS chargers. Public charging stations will have individual instructions for payment and use, and always have the DC charging cable attached to them. Charging status, regardless of the method, can be monitored on the remote app. And remember, the engine will not start with the power cable connected, so no need to worry about driving away while still tethered. The cable will also lock in place. To unplug it, simply unlock the car. If charging with DC power, it may be necessary to fully unlock the car and then press unlock on the smart key once more to disengage the cable lock. The electric range you experience is dependent on many factors, including driving style and speed, and outside temperature. Additionally, the energy impact tile will show how much power is being used by climate systems and heated seats. For the best efficiency, it's possible to pre-warm the battery to their most efficient temperature. The EV tile gives options for set on one-off or recurring departure time, and so long as the car is plugged in, it will ensure the car is preconditioned ready for you at that time. This video has really only touched on the essentials. Please make use of the iGuide app or videos on our YouTube channel to find out more, or contact your retailer with any questions. Thank you for your time and enjoy your time with your Jaguar E-Pace.